Normal parents ground their kids for failing math. These parents hired a lawyer because the teacher woke their kid up from a nap. We are looking at 101 actual times people sued a school for the absolute dumbest, most embarrassing reasons on earth. We are talking massive legal battles over spicy chips, paper cuts, and cheap plastic trophies. 1. Imagine suing a math teacher just for waking up your sleeping teenager. One mother actually filed a massive lawsuit claiming a gentle tap on the shoulder caused severe eardrum damage and extreme trauma. Getting paid because your kid cannot stay awake during algebra is wild. 2. High school sports are supposed to be about earning your spot on the field. Not for one intensely entitled father who actually dragged a football coach to court. He argued that keeping his precious star player benched totally destroyed his chances of an athletic scholarship. 3. Getting caught red-handed with stolen exam answers usually results in a failing grade and a harsh lecture. Instead, this couple took serious legal action, arguing the district failed to secure the answer keys properly. Accountability is completely dead in that household. 4. God forbid two brilliant students share the spotlight. Texas parents forced a massive legal battle simply because their daughter had to be co-valedictorian. They demanded a manual recount of 4 years of grades just to prove she was a fraction of a percent smarter. Absurd. 5. A teacher taking away a ringing cell phone during a biology midterm sounds completely standard. Yet one mom demanded 50 grand, insisting the staff viciously violated her daughter's constitutional property rights. The founding fathers definitely fought wars for texting. 6. An actual courtroom showdown happened because a middle school banned spicy cheese dust. An outraged dad sued the district for infringing on his sacred right to decide what his kid eats. The judge threw out the ridiculous junk food case faster than a stale bag of chips. 7. Missing out on the lead role in Cinderella led to a massive emotional distress lawsuit against a drama teacher. One furious mother hired expensive lawyers, claiming the harsh rejection ruined her daughter's future Broadway career. Nothing screams star quality like a subpoena. 8. Mother Nature ruining expensive hairstyles became the basis for a totally unhinged legal threat. Parents tried suing a local school board because an outdoor graduation had a little bit of light drizzle. Buying a cheap umbrella was apparently too complicated for these geniuses. 9. Private school tuition guarantees a genius child, right? One father demanded a massive refund after his son graduated with a totally mediocre C average. He sued for breach of contract, conveniently ignoring the hilarious fact that his kid skipped class 20 times that year. 10. Gym class is officially a human rights violation, according to one California mother. She threatened total legal ruin because jogging 2 laps made her teenage daughter sweat and ruined her very expensive makeup. Making teenagers exercise is basically torture nowadays, apparently. 11. First-grade teachers do not get paid enough, especially when cutting a piece of sticky gum out of a kid's hair leads to a lawsuit. A father demanded $1 million, crying that the slightly uneven trim caused intense social anxiety. It literally cost $5 to fix. 12. Moving a bus stop exactly 2 houses down the street triggered a wild legal battle. A mother took the entire district to court, arguing the microscopic detour was cruel and unusual physical punishment for her teenager. Walking an extra 50 feet is basically a marathon. 13. A teenager earned detention for calling his principal a giant idiot online. His parents instantly sued the district, claiming this timeout was a vicious assault on free speech. A federal judge kindly reminded them that the First Amendment does not protect you from rules. 14. Swapping deep-fried potato wedges for baked sweet potato fries triggered a massive legal meltdown. One dad claimed the healthy cafeteria menu was a radical agenda forced upon his innocent son. Demanding greasy junk food through the judicial system is peak American privilege. 15. A teenager showed up 10 minutes late to the bus stop and got left behind. Instead of blaming the alarm clock, these parents sued the driver for extreme negligence. They seriously argued that an entire town's transportation schedule should revolve around their lazy kid. 16. Dodgeball is a classic gym class game, but one furious mom dragged it into a courtroom. She argued the entire sport promotes vicious bullying and singles out weak children. She literally wanted a huge cash settlement because her kid could not dodge a soft foam sphere. 17. Why would anyone send a fourth grader to recess wearing $400 designer sneakers? When a cafeteria worker accidentally spilled one tiny drop of milk on them, the parents sued for extreme property damage. Taking responsibility for terrible fashion choices is dead. 18. 20 algebra problems over a weekend was enough to trigger a ridiculous lawsuit. A father sued the math teacher, complaining the heavy workload severely interfered with his son's competitive video gaming schedule. Prioritizing Call of Duty over basic math is certainly a choice. 19. Losing a middle school science fair over a papier-mâché volcano sparked immense legal fury. The mom claimed judges were heavily biased against classic baking soda eruptions and sued for unfair treatment. She spent thousands defending a project she likely built herself anyway. 20. Spelling the word fluorescent incorrectly at a regional B broke one family's heart so badly they hired a lawyer. They sued the district, arguing the chosen word was way too difficult and the dictionary was completely outdated. Suing to hide your kid's bad spelling is hilarious. 21. A formal senior prom was totally ruined when a principal denied entry to a teenager in a giant chicken suit. The parents immediately filed a massive lawsuit for violating artistic expression. Demanding thousands of dollars over a sweaty mascot costume is peak modern entitlement. 22. School fire drills are meant to safely evacuate buildings quickly, but one furious mother fiercely disagreed. She sued the district because her son had to abandon his hot pizza slice during a sudden alarm. She seriously claimed the temporary interruption caused intense starvation trauma. 23. Basketball requires proper sneakers, yet one outraged dad sued the gym teacher for extreme discrimination. He aggressively argued that his teenager had a fundamental constitutional right to play competitive sports in heavy work boots. Failing a kid for bad footwear is now a crime. 24. Sunburns on a sunny outdoor field trip are a totally classic parenting mistake. Instead of owning up to it, one family sued the school board for extreme negligence. They seriously argued that highly paid educators should also serve as personal lotion applicators for teenagers. 25. That aggressive-looking eagle mascot terrified a local kindergartner so badly his mom hired a legal team. She sued the entire district, demanding they change the historic logo to a friendly cartoon bunny. Wasting precious tax dollars on a plush bird is absolutely unhinged. 26. Your local school library lacking a favorite Japanese comic book is a tough break for a nerd. But one dad actually filed a lawsuit claiming this totally blocked his kid from cultural enrichment. He wanted a huge cash payout just because the librarian refused to order rare manga. 27. Basic manners became a federal case when a perfectly healthy teenager was asked to hold the cafeteria door. The parents sued the school for very strict child labor law violations. Trying to extract a cash settlement over 2 minutes of human politeness is absolutely mind-boggling. 28. Only a few lucky students get to read the morning announcements over the loudspeaker. When one kid got passed over, his completely enraged mother sued the principal for severe emotional damage. She demanded a federal judge force the school to let her precious angel read the menu. 29. School wireless networks blocking violent multiplayer video games seems like basic common sense. One teenager complained, and his parents literally sued for restricted access to vital information. They falsely argued playing online shooters was crucial for modern brain development. 30. Who actually sends a toddler to messy finger painting class wearing a $200 silk shirt? When the inevitable colorful disaster happened, the parents sued for extreme property damage. Blaming a tired art teacher for your terrible wardrobe choice is pure comedy gold. 31. That hilarious history essay written completely in invisible ink earned a well-deserved 0. The parents then launched a full-blown lawsuit for viciously suppressing creative genius. They actually expected the teaching staff to use a special blacklight just to grade the assignment. 32. High school marching bands refusing to play a trendy hip-hop song caused one family to completely snap. They sued the poor music director, claiming their son was creatively starved and traumatized. Imagine demanding money because you missed a pop track at a local football game. 33. A perfectly respectable B in chemistry completely shattered one fragile student. His parents sued the district, demanding a federal judge force a permanent grade change to a flawless A. They falsely claimed anything less than perfection would destroy his entire future career. 34. Millions of ordinary kids ride the big yellow school bus without complaining about the seating. One wealthy dad actually sued the transportation department because the seats were not genuine leather. He demanded a massive payout for his kid having to sit on cheap green vinyl. 35. Traditional cursive writing used to be a completely standard part of elementary education. A modern mom sued the school board to stop it, claiming the looping letters caused her child intense visual stress. She spent thousands of dollars fighting against basic handwriting skills. 36. Empty candy rows in a high school vending machine caused an absolute meltdown for one spoiled teenager. The parents filed a ridiculous lawsuit against the cafeteria management for violating dietary freedom. They wanted legal compensation for a totally missed daily sugar rush. 37. Surprise pop quizzes on a random Tuesday morning are an age-old psychological teacher tactic. One furious father sued for deliberate torture, claiming his daughter suffered a massive panic attack. Demanding hard cash because your kid did not study the textbook is wildly pathetic. 38. Show and tell with a massive live iguana was shut down incredibly fast by a terrified principal. The angry parents sued the district, claiming this ban severely violated their kids' passion for exotic reptiles. Taking a public school to civil court over a giant lizard is crazy. 39. Graduation speeches require silence, so a father blasting a deafening air horn was quickly escorted out. He heavily retaliated by suing the entire district for the strict suppression of his celebration rights. Thinking a solemn ceremony needs a monster truck sound is hilarious. 40. Kids spill sticky apple juice all the time and simply grab a paper towel to clean it up. These parents instantly sued the tired janitorial staff for forced student servitude. They seriously argued that making a child wipe their own mess is a strict human rights abuse violation. 41. Microscopic paper cuts from thick green construction paper triggered an unbelievable legal nightmare. The mother sued the art department for harboring highly dangerous and sharp materials. She demanded a huge settlement to cover the agonizing pain of a tiny scratch on a little finger. 42. Shakespeare plays always use cheap wooden swords as a totally standard safety protocol for teenagers. One unhinged dad sued the drama club, aggressively demanding they use razor-sharp metal blades for historical accuracy. Risking fatal stab wounds for a high school play is crazy. 43. Giving your baby a completely unpronounceable name with silent numbers is a very bold move. When a substitute teacher mispronounced it during morning roll call, the family sued for extreme emotional distress. They literally wanted financial compensation for their own bad spelling. 44. Hard wooden desks are obviously uncomfortable for any exhausted high schooler needing a nap. A mom sued the principal, demanding they provide a plush memory foam mattress in the back of the classroom. She claimed her son had a fundamental human right to sleep during physics. 45. Sneezing twice during a math exam sparked immense legal panic for one hyper-paranoid father. He maliciously sued the school for deliberate biological endangerment of his perfectly healthy son. He practically demanded a cash settlement just because a teenager forgot a tissue. 46. Recess ends when the classic loud bell rings, but that sharp noise became the target of a wild lawsuit. Parents claimed the ringing caused severe auditory trauma to their highly delicate child. They wasted incredible amounts of money trying to force the school to use wind chimes. 47. Annual school photo days are famous for terrible lighting and awkward forced smiles. One incredibly vain mother sued the photography company, claiming the bad angles made her son look slightly chubby. She demanded a massive refund and a total reshoot with professional makeup. 48. A biology teacher sparked a massive controversy simply by stating that magical wizards are not real science. A furious dad sued the school for maliciously crushing his kid's vivid imagination. He actually took the district to civil court over a basic fact about reality. 49. Public high school cafeterias are definitely not known for serving daily, 5-course gourmet meals. One wealthy family sued the district for nutritional neglect when they were served classic sloppy joes. They aggressively demanded personal chefs be hired with public taxpayer money. 50. Energetic kids love playing a rough game of soccer in the muddy rain during physical education. But one completely outraged mom sued the gym department for permanently ruining a white designer tracksuit. She wanted heavy legal damages because wet dirt somehow exists outdoors. 51. The color beige can supposedly cause severe psychological damage, according to one unhinged lawsuit. A mother sued a high school because the dull hallway paint did not match her son's vibrant personal aura. She demanded a full customized pastel renovation funded by taxpayers. 52. Science class stating that Pluto is no longer a planet absolutely shattered one kid's universe. His deeply offended parents sued the astronomy teacher for malicious emotional distress. Wasting courtroom time to legally reinstate a dwarf planet is peak American entitlement. 53. Locker number 13 triggered a completely unhinged legal battle for one family. A deeply superstitious dad sued the principal, claiming the bad luck specifically targeted his teenager's academic success. He actually demanded thousands of dollars to quickly ward off bad vibes. 54. Forcing teenagers to read classic novels printed on standard paper became a massive human rights issue. A passive-aggressive mom sued the library for using non-vegan bookbinding. She firmly demanded an all-digital curriculum just to protect the feelings of ancient trees. 55. Submitting a history essay written entirely in smartphone emojis earned one lazy student an instant failing grade. His enraged father immediately hired lawyers, arguing the school was suppressing modern digital dialects. Suing because your kid speaks in smiley faces is insane. 56. Foreign language classes are supposed to be challenging, but one parent heavily disagreed. She sued the high school Spanish teacher for speaking the actual language way too fast. Demanding financial compensation because your brain cannot process verbs is a bold new strategy. 57. A simple trip to the school nurse for a scraped knee sparked an unbelievable lawsuit. One wealthy father sued the health clinic for extreme medical negligence over a generic bandage. He claimed his precious child was highly allergic to anything without a designer brand name. 58. Joining the debate club means arguing both sides of a complex topic. When one student was assigned a stance he hated, his parents sued the coach for intense psychological manipulation. They genuinely believed teaching a kid basic critical thinking was an illegal brainwashing cult. 59. Class pets are usually a fun elementary school distraction. However, one totally unhinged mother sued the entire district after a tiny hamster completely ignored her son. She aggressively claimed the fuzzy rodent was purposely exhibiting highly toxic and exclusionary behavior. 60. Complete silence during a study hall is practically impossible, but a ticking wall clock became public enemy number one. A furious dad sued the district for severe noise pollution. He argued the rhythmic mechanical sound was purposely designed to torture his genius teenager. 61. A massive civil rights lawsuit spark-handed student was given green safety scissors instead of standard blue ones. The parents claimed this microscopic color difference was extreme discrimination. They actually wanted a federal judge to ban all green plastic. 62. Teaching basic physics led to a completely bizarre courtroom showdown. One hyper-religious dad sued the science department for teaching gravity, aggressively claiming it was just an unproven theory. He firmly demanded that floating be taught as a totally valid alternative. 63. Sending a heavily passive-aggressive email to the principal at 3 in the morning is weird enough. But one totally unhinged mom sued the school for blatant disrespect when she did not get a reply by sunrise. She practically demanded a dedicated customer service hotline. 64. Kindergarten teachers pin cute crayon drawings to the classroom bulletin board all the time. Instead of feeling proud, one greedy father sued the poor educator for massive copyright infringement. He genuinely wanted monthly royalty checks for a sloppy stick figure dog. 65. School theater productions can get intensely competitive. When a director cast a real golden retriever to play a dog, One furious mother sued for extreme discrimination. She aggressively argued her totally untalented human son deserved the animal role to boost his acting resume. 66. Standard metal detectors are everywhere, but one completely ruined a teenager's fake magnetic healing bracelet. His wildly paranoid parents sued the security team for deliberately destroying his spiritual energy. Seeking thousands of dollars for a cheap mall trinket is hilarious. 67. A noisy vacuum cleaner sparked a totally insane lawsuit when a student was trying to practice deep telepathic meditation. The family sued the exhausted janitor for deliberately blocking the kid's spiritual awakening. Expecting total silence for your psychic powers is wild. 68. Entering a complex string of letters to access the school internet is mildly annoying. A massively entitled teenager complained, and his parents literally sued the technology department for creating hostile barriers to education. They wanted a huge cash payout for sheer laziness. 69. Swallowing a loose baby tooth during lunch happens to little kids all the time. One absolutely furious mother sued the cafeteria staff for the permanent theft of precious biological property. She aggressively demanded a massive financial settlement directly from the tooth fairy. 70. Everyone loves a good classroom cupcake party. But when a teacher refused to throw a lavish celebration for a student's half-birthday, the parents instantly hired lawyers. They sued for severe emotional neglect, claiming their 6-year-old was fundamentally robbed of pure joy. 71. The most talkative superlative in the high school yearbook is usually just a fun little joke. A deeply offended family actually sued the editing committee for vicious public defamation. They argued the harmless title would permanently destroy their daughter's future career. 72. Praising a badly molded clay pot caused an unbelievable wave of petty jealousy. One toxic mother sued the art teacher simply for complimenting another student's project more than her kid's lumpy creation. She wanted financial damages for the severe lack of total favoritism. 73. Track and field is literally just running really fast around a giant loop. Yet one completely outraged father sued the athletic coach, claiming the sport was incredibly pointless and purposely dizzying. He legally demanded a massive cash settlement for his kid's extreme vertigo. 74. Sitting near a window on a beautiful sunny day sounds lovely, right? Not for one intensely spoiled teenager who complained about a slight glare during a geometry test. His parents immediately sued the school board for failing to control the totally unpredictable orbit of the sun. 75. Navigating a massively lifted truck through a tiny high school parking lot is a total ego trip. An angry dad sued the district after a bright yellow speed bump slightly scratched his expensive custom rims. He firmly argued the safety device was an illegal trap targeting cool dads. 76. High school choir concerts are notoriously pitchy, but one incredibly snobby mother sued the music director because the sopranos were slightly out of tune. She claimed the amateur performance permanently damaged her son's perfect pitch and demanded heavy monetary compensation. 77. Geometry class is full of completely harmless shapes. However, one heavily paranoid conspiracy theorist father sued the math department for drawing too many triangles. He practically screamed to a judge that the teacher was aggressively recruiting students into the Illuminati. 78. Old textbooks usually have a totally distinct, dusty paper smell. One extremely dramatic mother sued the local school board, aggressively claiming a borrowed history book emitted a strange odor that gave her a mild headache. She seriously demanded thousands for sinus suffering. 79. Hydration is totally important, but public school water fountains only dispense regular tap water. A bizarrely health-obsessed family sued the district for severe internal damage. They demanded the entire plumbing system be instantly upgraded to pump out pure alkaline spring water. 80. Math teachers pass out standard metal compasses to draw perfect circles all the time. One hyper-anxious parent sued the principal, violently arguing the tiny pointy tool was actually a highly classified deadly weapon. Suing over basic geometry supplies is absolutely insane. 81. Can a standardized test question actually ruin your entire life? One incredibly dramatic student failed basic biology, and his parents aggressively sued the testing company. They hilariously argued the font choice on the exam paper was completely illegible and maliciously confusing. 82. School buses bouncing slightly over a massive pothole is just a totally normal Tuesday morning commute. Yet an absolutely furious dad sued the city transportation department for inflicting severe spinal trauma on his sleepy teenager. He essentially wanted a brand new luxury car. 83. A tiny green caterpillar hiding in a fresh cafeteria salad is gross but completely natural. One highly sensitive mother sued the high school for attempted poisoning and extreme emotional distress. She demanded an organic personal chef be hired with local taxpayer money. 84. Most kids completely ignore the cheesy motivational posters hanging in crowded hallways. But one hyper-intellectual father sued the principal, claiming a poster of a soaring eagle was viciously promoting unrealistic expectations. He seriously wanted a cash payout for false hope. 85. Outdoor physical education during winter means sliding around a completely frozen pond. A deeply paranoid parent sued the gym teacher for exposing her precious child to a highly deadly frictionless surface. Wasting legal fees over basic winter weather is pure comedy gold. 86. The spelling bee ended in tears after a student stumbled on a giant medical word. His outraged family sued the innocent judges, aggressively demanding they rewrite the dictionary to be much shorter. Blaming the entire English language for a loss is a bold legal strategy. 87. Passing a completely inappropriate love note in math class is a classic teenage blunder. Fiercely protective parents immediately sued the strict teacher for blatantly violating international privacy laws. They actually tried turning a crumpled piece of paper into a federal case. 88. A simple fire drill alarm ringing for exactly 3 minutes caused an unbelievable wave of total panic. One incredibly anxious mother sued the district for deploying psychological warfare tactics against her sensitive child. She wanted a silent flashing light system to replace loud bells. 89. New students forget their locker combinations on the first day of school every single year. An entitled dad sued the building administration for creating an unnecessarily complex numerical prison. He firmly demanded a universal master key for his deeply forgetful son. 90. Most high schoolers absolutely despise waking up for an early morning zero-period class. But one actively hostile mom sued the local school board, claiming the sunrise itself was intensely violating her teenager's natural circadian rhythm. She seriously tried to sue the literal sun. 91. Bringing a literal rock to class as an emotional support animal sounds like a joke, but one mom was dead serious. When the principal banned the dirty stone from the classroom, she sued for severe discrimination. Wasting a judge's time over a piece of gravel is truly spectacular. 92. Educational documentaries about soil conservation usually put a crowded classroom straight to sleep. An outraged family sued the tired science teacher for inflicting severe chronic boredom and wasting precious intellectual potential. Suing an educator for being dull is wild. 93. Sharing a common first name like Michael or Sarah with 3 other classmates is a fact of life. A highly unique mom aggressively sued the local district to force everyone else to instantly change their legal names. She claimed her special child deserved total exclusivity. 94. Being crowned prom king is a fun high school memory until the parents get involved. One family actively sued the student council because the ceremonial crown was made of cheap plastic instead of real metal. They demanded heavy financial compensation for the sheer disrespect. 95. Pure bad luck placed a teenager's locker directly next to the incredibly smelly boy's locker room. An absolutely furious mother sued the principal for deliberately inflicting toxic biological warfare on her innocent daughter. She aggressively demanded a private executive suite. 96. Chicken nugget shapes became a federal issue when a dad sued the cafeteria for serving basic circles instead of fun dinosaur silhouettes. He argued the lack of prehistoric shapes severely suppressed his son's joy and appetite. Fighting for Dino Nuggets in civil court is wild. 97. Cheap plastic participation trophies at a local elementary school track meet usually make kids smile. A deeply competitive dad sued the physical education department for aggressively promoting a weak mindset. He demanded real solid gold medals for everyone involved. 98. Wearing dark aviator sunglasses indoors during a math exam was banned to prevent cheating. The teenager's father immediately filed a lawsuit, claiming the harsh fluorescent lighting was destroying his son's retinas. He seriously demanded a completely dim, candlelit classroom. 99. Showing up in a bright red shirt when the official spirit color was blue caused massive local drama. An enraged family sued the student council for extreme social alienation and vicious public shaming. They actively wanted a payout for a simple morning wardrobe mistake. 100. Wearing a full superhero costume to school is fun on Halloween, but not in late February. A furious mother sued the principal for suppressing her kid's secret identity and causing severe emotional trauma. She genuinely demanded a federal judge allow the cape in math class. 101. A clumsy teenager tripped over his own untied shoelaces in a completely empty school hallway. An insanely litigious mother instantly sued the janitorial staff for failing to maintain a perfectly safe walking surface. She basically blamed the floor for her kid's clumsiness. Alright, play judge for a second. If you had the dad who sued over sweet potato fries standing in your courtroom, what is his exact punishment? Name the absolute most embarrassing parent out of these 101 down in the comments so we can relentlessly judge them. Hit that like button and subscribe before one of these families tries to sue this channel.